A Paradise Called Texas by Janice Jordan Scheffelman. Chapter 10, A Wagon and Oxen. In March, the rain stopped, and at last the land began to dry out. Still no wagons came to take them inland to the German colony at New Braunfels. Mina often thought of Mama and of her last words to Papa. "You must take Mina away from here." Papa's face looked so sad at times when he was quiet. Mina knew he was thinking about Mama. Many people had left the beach on foot, but Papa thought that was unwise. "We will wait just a little longer." "Papa, I cannot stand it here any longer. I would rather walk than stay on this gloomy beach watching people die one after another." The tightness came to Mina's throat as she thought of poor, weak Mama lying on the damp tent floor. "We will wait, Mina," Papa said with a finality she could not question. One evening, as the sun was disappearing below the flat horizon, Mina heard a rumbling noise. Far in the distance, beyond the pond and across the treeless prairie, a lone covered wagon pulled by 2 yoke of oxen came slowly toward the beach. As it came closer, Mina saw that 2 people walked alongside and the others rode. Mina ran to meet the wagon across the hard sand beach through the clumps of trees. She waved at them as she ran, her braids flying. A man walking beside the wagon waved back, but he looked very tired. A boy walked beside him. There was a woman with 2 small children in the wagon. Mina stopped breathlessly as she came up. "Where are you going?" Mina asked, breathing heavily and matching her steps to theirs. "Back to Germany, I hope, my child," the man replied. His mouth formed a smile, but his eyes remained sad. Mina was suddenly aware that here was their long-awaited wagon, and her heart began to pound. "Then you will not be needing the wagon anymore." "Well, I doubt that we could get very far across the ocean in it." Again the smile came, and his somber face brightened a little. "Then we would like to buy it from you, and the oxen too," Mina blurted out as she walked alongside with the man. "My papa has some money. He did not give it all to the Baron." The man turned to look at his wife. Her eyes seemed sunken and her cheeks wrinkled before her time. She shook her head to say no. "We need all the money we can get for the wagon and oxen to buy our passage back to Germany," he told Mina. By this time they were nearing the camp, and a crowd of people had gathered. "I must sell to the highest bidder," the man said. All Mina could think of was that Papa must get the wagon and oxen. In fact, it seemed their very lives depended upon this wagon. So many people were getting sick. Mina was no longer shocked when a death occurred. It happened every day. Who would be next? What if Papa? Mina shuddered at the thought of being left alone. On the beach, people crowded around and completely surrounded the newcomers, talking all at the same time. "Will you sell the wagon and oxen?" someone shouted. The crowd pushed closer and people struggled to get next to the wagon. "What will you take for your wagon and oxen?" asked another. Mina was getting pushed and shoved. Suddenly she went down on her hands and knees and escaped under the wagon where she felt safe as she listened to the shouts and was surrounded by the feet of the crowd. The man stood up on a spoke and into the wagon, and then Mina heard his voice above the noise. "What am I bid? I must have enough for passage back to Germany." $75, came a voice. The crowd quieted. $80, she heard Papa say. The bidding continued among the few who had money in their pockets. 85 came from Herr Kaufmann. Suddenly, Mina had an idea. Papa and Herr Kaufmann could buy the wagon together. She looked out from under the wagon. She could see nothing but a forest of legs, but she knew where Papa was standing. Mina crawled out and pushed her way through to him. "Papa," she motioned for him to put his head down close, and she whispered her idea to him. "And we could take turns riding and walking," she finished. "Yeah, you are right, Mina." Then he whispered in her ear, "Run and tell Herr Kaufmann. Tell him I can bid $90. Mina's heart was pounding. If they missed this chance to get the wagon, there might not be another. "I will give you $100, someone shouted. Mina's heart leapt. "Herr Kaufmann's on the other side," Papa whispered. "Hurry, Mina." Mina began making her way through the crowd. She felt glad she was small for her age and could slip between people without much notice. Even so, sometimes she had to push hard to get through the crowd, and people gave her ugly looks. But she had only one thought in her mind: get to Herr Kaufman. On the other side of the wagon, she saw him. Herr Kaufman! Mina motioned for him to lean down, and she whispered to him. Someone bid $125. Herr Kaufman straightened, his eyes excited, held up his arms, and said, I bid $150. The crowd became hushed. There were no more bids. Sold, then, said the wagon owner. The crowd began to move apart. Papa made his way over to them. Oh, Papa, at last we have our wagon. Mina threw her arms around him. Yeah, thanks to you, my klein Mina. Then Papa shook hands with Herr Kaufman, and they all drew closer to the wagon where the man was unhitching the oxen. My name is Ernst Jordan. Papa reached out his hand to shake. And this is Heinrich Kaufman, my new partner, Papa chuckled. I am Wilhelm Lang, answered the man as they all shook hands, and my wife and children. His son looked down at his shoes and dug in the sand with his heel. Well, I hope that a coastal steamer will come soon from Galveston, Papa said. Yeah, we have had enough of Texas. Herr Lang looked at the ground and shook his head. I hope you find better luck. Thank you. We shall try. Herr Lang looked up at Papa. Have you heard that Texas has joined the United States? No, but it does not surprise me greatly. And the United States Army is hiring all Teamsters to use their wagons for hauling supplies. Herr Lang added, it appears there will soon be a war with Mexico. Well, we go on with our private war. Then Papa and Herr Kaufman took out their money, counted it, and gave it to the man. That is $150, said Papa. Many thanks. Before dawn, Mina and Papa knelt beside Mama's grave. Mention, we come to say our last farewell, Papa began and then paused. He seemed unable to go on, and he tightened his grip on Mina's shoulder. Then, drawing a deep breath, he continued. If only you were by my side once more, but I know you were happy to see us leave. Mina looked up at the sky. Avita sang Mama. She imagined the little seagull flying above as she and Papa knelt silently for a moment longer. Then the tip of the orange sun ball appeared at the edge of the sea. As it rose, the first rays of sunlight shone upon them. It was time to leave this beach forever.